Do you believe it? With just $1,500 a month, you can completely live in the heart of Europe, where every morning you open your window to the blue Mediterranean Sea, sip a glass of red wine at noon in an ancient square, and stroll in the afternoon along cobblestone streets that are hundreds of years old. In the U.S., $1,500 is just enough to pay rent for a small apartment or half of a medical bill. But here, that amount can buy you an entirely new life. Safety, quality healthcare, stunning nature, and a slower pace of living so you can truly enjoy it. Don't let retirement be just long days of waiting, while Europe is opening its doors and inviting you into a memorable journey. From the sunny beaches of the Algarve to the Prague clock tower chiming every evening, all of it is within your reach, at a cost you never dared to imagine. Watch until the end of this video, because maybe just one of the 5 countries I'm about to share will make you say, "Yes, this is exactly where I want to restart my retirement life." Dream it. Pack it. Go. 5. Portugal, the kingdom of warm sun and gentle coffee. If one day you grow tired of America's endless winters, with ice frozen on the window panes, imagine waking up in a small apartment in Porto, hearing the Atlantic breeze slip through the cracks, and catching the smell of coffee from the corner cafe calling you down the cobblestone slope. Portugal, where with just $1,500 a month, Americans can live not only comfortably, but freely, leisurely, and full of simple joys. In smaller cities like Bragança, Covilhã, or Coimbra, a cozy 1-bedroom apartment costs only about $400 to $500. Add utilities and internet for just a little over $100, and fresh produce from local markets or supermarkets makes grocery bills so cheap you'll hardly believe it. In Porto or Lisbon, the costs are slightly higher but still easy to manage. A 1-bedroom downtown for about $600 to $700. Add food, transport, and entertainment, and the total still fits neatly within $1,200 to $1,500. And if you choose the Algarve, with its year-round sunshine, each morning walk on golden sands might just become your favorite exercise of retirement life. Healthcare, often a constant worry, turns into a strength here. Portugal's public healthcare system is modern and accessible, with costs so low they surprise many newcomers. With a residency card, you can register for national health insurance. Private hospitals are fast and polite. A doctor's visit costs no more than a dinner in the U.S. Common medicines are subsidized, and doctors in cities or private clinics generally speak good English. If you're in the countryside, you might need to rely more on hand gestures. But even that becomes part of the fun, like learning a new language through your heart, instead of textbooks. Safety is beyond question, as Portugal consistently ranks among the most peaceful countries in the world. Violent crime is so rare that if anything happens, the media blows it up simply because it's rare. Walking the streets at night in Lisbon or Porto only requires the same basic caution as in any large city. But most of the time, you'll see locals leisurely drinking light beer in the squares, children playing soccer in the streets, and tourists laughing under cafe awnings. The sense of peace here is so tangible that many Americans admit they've become addicted to that very light-hearted atmosphere. Language isn't an insurmountable barrier either. Portuguese flows softly like ocean waves, and with just a few basic phrases like bom dia or obrigado, you can easily bring a friendly smile to your neighbor's face. In larger cities, young people and service workers often speak decent English, so you can manage just fine. But when you say a simple thank you in Portuguese, the shopkeeper might slip you an extra piece of bread or share a funny story, because the people here are naturally warm and welcoming. Residency procedures aren't an impossible maze. Americans usually choose the D7 visa. You just need to show proof of stable income from pensions, rentals, or investments, along with health insurance and a local address to apply for entry. After that, you're granted a 2-year residency card, which can be renewed. And after 5 years, you can apply for permanent residency or citizenship. What's special is that Portugal allows dual citizenship, meaning you don't have to give up your U.S. passport. Of course, the process here can be slow and a bit bureaucratic, but if you see it as part of the slow culture, it no longer feels intimidating. David, a retired teacher from Texas, is the clearest proof. He came to Porto just to try 1 year after his wife passed away, but he ended up staying for good. He rented a small apartment by the Douro River. Morning, he went to the market to buy fresh fish. Afternoon, he sat at cafes, watching the iron bridge sparkle. Evening, he sipped red wine slowly, without hurry. His total expenses? Only about $400 a month, far cheaper than the tight life he once lived in the U.S., David said. In America, he paid $7 for a takeaway coffee and always felt rushed. But in Porto, he could sit for 2 hours with a glass of wine, and no one bothered him. In fact, they greeted him by name. 3 years later, he finished the paperwork for permanent residency and declared, "This will be my final home, a home filled with the sound of guitar drifting from the square and the smiles of neighbors." So, if you've ever wished for a retirement where mornings begin with sunrises over the sea, afternoons linger over coffee, and evenings stroll without fear of medical bills or crime, then Portugal is the answer. And the only question left is, do you have the courage to trade today's busyness for tomorrow's peace? If you feel your heart stir even a little, hit like to support, comment Bom Dia to mark a new beginning, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the journeys to discover the next retirement paradises. For Spain, the land of sun, wine, and squares that never sleep. If Portugal feels like a slow, gentle fado melody, then Spain is a flamenco dance, lively, full of energy, yet always knowing the right moment to pause, so you can sip a sangria and let out a satisfied sigh. Speaking of Spain means talking about sun-drenched plazas, winding cobblestone streets, and that feeling that any day can turn into a little festival. For Americans looking to retire on $1,500 a month, this isn't just a practical choice, it's an upgrade of life. Reasonable costs, diverse nature, rich culture, and a lifestyle you can speed up or slow down, depending on your mood. The cost of living in Spain surprises many. In mid-sized cities like Valencia, Granada, or Alicante, a one-bedroom apartment costs only $600,700. Eating out? Just $8-12 a meal. Public buses? Only a few dollars. If you shop at markets and cook at home, groceries fit neatly around $250-300 a month, with plenty left for local wine. Even in big cities like Madrid or Barcelona, where life runs faster and more modern, total expenses rarely exceed $2,500, unless you splurge on Michelin-star dining or luxury shopping. In rural areas or seaside villages of Andalusia, the cost of living is even softer. You can live comfortably on just $200 a month, but Spain isn't just cheap, it's kaleidoscopic in nature. Do you want blue seas and white sand? Costa del Sol is always waiting. Do you love mountains? The Pyrenees and Sierra Nevada stretch out, skiing in winter, hiking in summer. Prefer cooler climates? The northern regions like Galicia or the Basque Country bring rain, wind, and lush green meadows, and each region carries its own identity, from Andalusia's guitar sounds to those whitewashed villages that look as if they've stepped out of a painting. When it comes to healthcare, Spain prides itself on a system ranked among the best in the world. As a resident, you can access public health care almost free of charge. Many doctors and nurses speak English, especially in big cities and in areas with large expat communities. If you want faster service, private hospitals are very common, with reasonable costs. A private consultation is only about $40–60, far cheaper than in the US. This is a big plus for anyone concerned about health in retirement. Safety in Spain is another reason many feel at ease. Violent crime is rare. Mostly you just need to watch out for pickpockets in crowded tourist spots. Compared to many other European countries, Spain is highly rated for political stability and safety, which allows its cities to stay lively at night, without tension. The people are famously friendly and open. They love sitting in plazas, chatting late into the night, a cultural trait that makes you always feel invited into the fun. Regarding residency, Spain offers the non-lucrative visa, perfect for Americans who want to retire. You need to prove passive income from pensions, savings, or investments, about $2,500–$2,700 per month for one person, plus health insurance and accommodation. With that, you can apply for long-term residency. After 5 years, you can obtain permanent residency. After 10 years, you can apply for citizenship. But there's one major downside. If you want to naturalize, you must give up your US passport. Spain does not recognize dual citizenship with the United States. That's why many people choose to remain on long-term residency cards, rather than pursue citizenship. The story of Margaret, a retired nurse from Florida, shows the irresistible appeal of Spain. She once worried that the cost of living in Europe would be too high, but when she arrived in Valencia, she realized that with just $1,400 a month, she could rent an apartment near the beach, shop for fresh food at dirt-cheap prices, eat out occasionally, and still have money left to take weekend train trips to Madrid or Barcelona. She shared that what she loved most was the plaza culture. Every evening, just by walking to the nearby square, there were neighbors, music, children playing, and a glass of red wine waiting for her. In the US, I used to feel lonely even while living in a crowded neighborhood. Here I feel like I belong to a community, and every evening feels like a small party. Spain isn't perfect. Taxes are high, and bureaucracy can be slow. But in return, you get a life rich in experiences, diverse landscapes, deep culture, and a growing expat community. If you want a retirement that is both peaceful and lively, with both sea and mountains, festivals and quiet cafes, then Spain is exactly where your retirement symphony is played with guitars and fireworks. If you think you're ready to raise a glass of sangria to your retirement, leave a comment saying "Salud" to mark a new beginning. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss the next journeys ahead. 3. Croatia, paradise of the Adriatic Sea and ancient walls. If Portugal is gentle sunshine and Spain is lively guitar, then Croatia feels like a Mediterranean painting brushed with fairy tale colors. Crystal clear seas, stone-paved old towns, islands scattered like jewels across the Adriatic, and a pace of life slow enough to make you forget the clock. For Americans wanting to retire on about $500 a month, Croatia is Europe's little secret. Beautiful, affordable, and safe. The costs here are truly impressive. In Split or Zadar, a one-bedroom apartment rents for just $450–600 a month. Add in food, utilities, and transportation, and your total comes to $2,100–$1,300. That means $2,500 is more than enough, covering daily life, and even the occasional ferry ride to a nearby island. Compared to New York, where a single dinner can equal a week's worth of meals in Split. Croatia is clearly a discount ticket to retirement. The natural beauty here is unmatched. The Adriatic glows emerald blue. The ancient walls of Dubrovnik recall scenes from Game of Thrones, and Plitvice's cascading waterfalls look like they stepped out of a painting. You might start your morning with coffee on a balcony overlooking the sea. Then spend your afternoon strolling through a quiet fishing village, a balance many Americans only dream about. Healthcare in Croatia is well regarded for its value. The public system is steady in quality, low in cost. Foreigners can purchase public health insurance for only about $80 a month. Hospitals in Zagreb, Split, or Rijeka are modern, with many English-speaking doctors. Private clinics? Efficient, and still far cheaper than in the US. For retirees, this is a clear advantage. When it comes to safety, Croatia ranks among the most peaceful countries in Europe. Violent crime is almost negligible. Even in busy tourist cities, you only need to watch out for petty theft. The people are gentle, friendly, and the cafe culture, where conversations stretch on for hours, makes it easy to blend in. You'll quickly get used to neighbors greeting you with a smile, or cafe staff remembering your name after just a few visits. The official language is Croatian. It may sound tough, but don't worry. In tourist cities and along the coast, English is widely spoken, especially among the younger generation. Still, learning a few basic words, like hvala, meaning thank you, will definitely earn you points. As for residency, Croatia doesn't yet have a dedicated retirement visa, but Americans can choose several paths: signing a long-term rental contract, buying property, or even applying for the digital nomad visa. All of these allow you to obtain a temporary residence permit, which is easy to renew. After 5 years, you can apply for permanent residency. After 8 years, you may qualify for citizenship. Take the story of John and Mary, a retired couple from Chicago. They once thought they'd settle in Florida, but after a trip to Dubrovnik, they decided to try a year in Croatia. Now, they live in a small apartment overlooking the sea in Split for just $350 a month, including insurance, food, and transportation. John said, "In Chicago, rent alone cost us twice as much, and the cold kept us indoors. Here, every morning we go to the market for fresh fish, walk along the coast, and feel young again." Mary added, "The most surprising thing is the peace. You hear the sound of waves more often than car horns. And in retirement, that is priceless." Croatia may not be the first choice on many Americans' lists, but with its blue seas, reasonable costs, reliable health care, and a life that is simple yet fulfilling, it truly is a peaceful harbor for those who want to enjoy Europe while keeping their budget within reach. If you feel ready to wake up by the Adriatic Sea, leave a comment saying, "I choose Croatia," and hit like and subscribe so you won't miss the next wonderful retirement journeys. 2. Hungary. The heart of Central Europe and the symphony of the Danube. If Croatia is the sound of Adriatic waves, then Hungary is the warm melody of the Danube, where the river divides the capital, Budapest, into Buda and Pest, both romantic and vibrant. For Americans seeking a retirement that's affordable, Hungary is Europe's silent star. Rich culture, diverse cuisine, reasonable costs, and a growing expat community. The first big draw is the cost of living. In Budapest, a city that is both historic and modern, a one-bedroom apartment rents for only about $500–650 a month. Add utilities and internet at around $150, groceries at about $250–300, and public transportation for just $30. Even when you include health insurance and light entertainment, Total expenses rarely exceed $1,400 a month. With $2,500, you can live comfortably and even treat yourself to weekend train trips to Vienna or Prague. If you choose smaller cities like Debrecen or Szeged, costs drop even lower. Sometimes $1,000 is enough. Hungary is a paradise for lovers of architecture and nature. Budapest is famous for the Chain Bridge, the majestic parliament building by the river, and thermal baths like Geller or CZECH, where you can soak in steaming waters while snow falls outside. Leaving the capital, you'll find the endless green fields of the Great Plain, the renowned Tokaj vineyards, or Lake Balaton, the inland sea, where both the elderly and the young flock for summer holidays. Hungary's healthcare is considered quite good in the region, with many low-cost public hospitals and high-quality private facilities. A private consultation costs only about $40–50, and common surgeries are also far cheaper than in the US. Budapest is especially attractive for medical tourism, thanks to affordable yet high-quality dental and cosmetic services. Retirees can purchase private health insurance for $70–100 a month, making access to care faster and more convenient. In terms of safety, Hungary is stable and peaceful. Violent crime is rare, with pickpocketing in touristy areas being the main concern. With relatively stable politics, foreigners often feel secure when settling here. The Hungarian language, however, is indeed a challenge, long, unpredictable, and unrelated to English or Latin. But the good news is that in Budapest, young people and those in the service industry often speak English well enough to make daily life smooth. If you learn a few simple greetings, locals will smile at you warmly. Residency policies for Americans are also fairly feasible. You can apply for a long-term residence visa if you can prove stable income, around $2,000 per month for an individual, and housing. After 3 years, you can apply for permanent residency. And after 8 years, there's a chance to obtain citizenship. While not as easy as Portugal, with a stable budget, Hungary remains a convenient gateway for long-term living. The story of Tom, a retired engineer from Colorado, shows this clearly. He came to Budapest intending to stay just a few months, but he fell in love with the city. With $350 a month, he rented a small apartment in District 7, visited thermal baths weekly, and dined at traditional restaurants for half the price of the US. What surprised me, Tom said, is that I no longer feel like I'm just existing. I am living. With music, with wine, with evenings spent watching the Danube light up. Hungary may not be the first place you think of when talking about Europe, but with its affordable budget, deeply Central European culture, rich nature, and a lifestyle that fits perfectly with retirement. This is where you can rewrite the final chapter of your life with the gentle melodies of the Danube. If you feel ready to soak in Budapest's thermal baths and call it your retirement therapy, comment Danube below. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to keep exploring more amazing destinations. 1. Czech Republic. A Central European gem with a fairy tale soul. If Budapest is the symphony of the Danube, then Prague is like a fairy tale written in stone and light. Red rooftops stretching endlessly, the astronomical clock chiming, the Charles Bridge wrapped in morning mist. All make retirees feel as if they are living inside a book rather than a calendar. With about $1,500 a month, an American can fully enjoy both the beauty and the convenience of the Czech Republic. The costs in Prague are moderate. A one-bedroom apartment is about $700, groceries $250–300, and public transportation only $25 a month. If you choose Brno or Ostrava, the numbers are even lower, with total monthly expenses easily kept within woolen 200 $400. This is one of the rare European capitals where you can enjoy a cappuccino in the Old Town without worrying about an empty wallet. Healthcare in the Czech Republic is highly rated, with inexpensive public hospitals and many private hospitals meeting international standards. A private consultation costs only $40–60, and private health insurance is $80–100 a month. Doctors in the major cities speak good English and serve the growing expat community. Safety is another plus. Violent crime is rare, and you mainly just need to watch for pickpockets in crowded tourist areas. Politics are stable, society is orderly, and the overall atmosphere provides peace of mind for retirees. The Czech language is as tricky as a word puzzle, but in Prague and Brno, English is fairly common among young people and in the service industry. Just a few basic greetings are enough to connect with your neighbors. The residency visa requires proof of stable income, health insurance, and housing. After 5 years, you can apply for permanent residency, and after 10 years, you become eligible for citizenship. With the American and European expat community growing rapidly, Prague is gradually becoming a true retirement hub. Listen to the story of Linda, a former bank employee from California. She came to Prague planning to stay only 6 months, but she fell in love with the afternoons spent by the Vltava River with a glass of famous Czech beer. In the US, I used to count every bill. Here I count every moment, she said. And that may be the perfect definition of retirement in the Czech Republic. If you want to try a life that is light as a fairy tale but real in every penny spent, leave a comment saying Prague Calling, hit like and subscribe so you won't miss the next journeys ahead. 5 countries, 5 different shades. Portugal gentle like the morning sun. Spain lively like a flamenco dance. Croatia peaceful by the Adriatic Sea. Hungary solemn by the Danube. And the Czech Republic fairy tale-like with Prague's clock towers. But they all share the same message. With just $1,500 a month, you don't just live enough. You live fully, with nature, culture, and smiles in a foreign land. So which melody will you choose for your retirement? Leave a comment with the country that makes your heart beat faster. Hit like if you found this helpful, and subscribe to join me in exploring the next journeys.